Hola a todos y bienvenidos de nuevo a The Boogeyman. En la parte anterior estábamos con David, una vez la habíamos salvado, y empezamos a investigar por la zona esta que habíamos descubierto detrás del cuadro. Entonces, principalmente la parte fue la escena esta, que de Keith de por qué odiaba los teléfonos y demás, de cuando murió el hijo y tal. Y luego también vimos el vídeo final, ¿no? El requisito final para el final bueno, en el que se veía un vídeo de Elena con Boogeyman. Entonces ahora nos habíamos separado de David y nos tocaba ir a mataros, así de claro, dijo Keith, matar al monstruo que es Boogeyman. Así que bueno, parece ser que nos queda ya nada de juego, pero como el final seguramente sea algo largo, he decidido grabarlo en una parte diferente en vez de la anterior, porque tampoco quería que me saliese una parte de 1 hora, ¿sabes? Vale, chicos, pues vamos allá. A matar a Boogeyman. Pues por aquí mismo. Oh, esto es... ¡Anda! Esto antes no estaba abierto. No me gusta subir escaleras porque tengo que andar dándole como zigzag. No me gusta ese ruido de fondo. ¿Va a pasar algo? No sé, parece como si se hubiese a romper algo o fuese a caer algo, no sé.
Wait, Dad. Leave the door open and don't turn out the lights in the hall.
Why?
The boogeyman will come.
What kind of guy is this boogeyman?
He has long nails and kidnaps kids. He lives in the closet.
A kidnapper? Well, can't leave a guy like that on the loose. Alright, Dad'll give him a good beating. Hey, Boogie, you in there? What? Hey, let go.
¡Lol!
Dad?
Y así Keith murió.
Dad!
Pobre, no hagas que el niño se preocupe.
It was a little tough, but I got him good.
Qué bueno, Keith, qué mono.
No worries, son. Old Boogie won't come for you anymore.
Si es que en realidad, o sea, antes era un buenazo.
Really?
Would I lie? Me and Mom are in the bedroom right there, you know. You still scared? Oh, need your stuffed bunny, do you? Or should I read you a bedtime story? Maybe the ones with the fairies.
No way. I'm not a wuss, Dad. I can sleep by myself.
That's the spirit. Listen, Todd. If the boogeyman comes to get you again, Dad'll beat him up. I'm not gonna let anyone mess with you or Mom.
'Cause you're a police officer?
'Cause I'm Dad. Good night, son.
Sabía que iba a decir lo de porque soy papá.
Should I leave the light on?
It's okay. I've got you and Mom.
Good night. I love you.
Qué mono Keith antes.
Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Have you ever thought about it, detective? Thought you have an enemy?
Estamos ya básicamente en el final. O sea, este vídeo es básicamente el final bueno. Ya está.
Who or what it is, you don't even know. Maybe it doesn't even exist. Maybe it's all in your head. But you know there's something tormenting you, always making it so painful. You feel like the whole world's out to make you suffer. too troublesome to make an enemy of the whole world, right? So, just making one enemy will do. I chose you as my enemy. Have I become yours? Oh well, either way, we're gonna settle this right here. Let's end this wonderful game now.
No.
Can you beat this final boss and take back your beloved wife?
LOL.
What's so funny?
Yo también me he quedado también como, pero Kid, ¿qué haces descojonándote ahora de golpe cuando quieran matarte?
Boy, you're really having a blast, huh? What's so funny that you can be all smiles all the time? Total opposite of me. I don't remember the last time I laughed. But I guess we were pretty similar after all. In a sense, it was all a lie. You're always grinning ear to ear, but you're scared, aren't you? So you keep running. You can't go head to head with me. You and me are just acting. You're no scary monster, and I'm no paragon of justice. Final boss? Huh. A big baddie should be a pretty sly guy, shouldn't they? But taking hostages, always on the run, the only thing you can chase after is girls' rumps. You know, I wasn't planning to do anything with you. As long as the others were safe, I was fine leaving you be. I'd secure your hostages and scram, then just leave you to the local police. Because I'm not chasing you. You just keep running from me. What I'm really chasing after. Sorry, but it ain't you. That's right. It's not you. You're my enemy. Spare me the sleep talk. Why would I make my enemy a dunce who just sneaks away? A coward who hides in the closet and threatens kids. And your enemy? Not me either. You've got a lot more enemies. If you go to the slammer, you're gonna be a real popular guy. I can tell. But this is a great chance. No hostages to get in the way. No one watching.
Oh Dios, qué paliza te va a dar, qué paliza. Ahí crujiéndose los nudillos, ahí como, bueno, Boogeyman, vas a sufrir un ratito.
So I can do whatever I like with you.
Oh Dios, yo que tú correría, Boogeyman.
Detective, criminal, that doesn't matter now. You've done the number one thing to get on my bad side.
Meterte con tu mujer, seguro.
You chased after my wife's rump.
Lo sabía.
That alone is enough reason for me to beat you down.
Bueno, Boogeyman, es hora de sufrir.
Don't you think, Boogie?
What? Vale.
Can't afford to laugh anymore, can you?
Es como, uy, mierda, se me ha roto la bolsa de ketchup o de sangre dentro de la bolsa.
Back to your closet, Boogeyman. You don't have what it takes to make it over here.
Oh, vale, guardar, guardar. Toca pelear. Venga, 3. Vale, ya está. Vale, oh Dios. ¡Huye de mí! ¡Huye de mí, tío! Mierda, me ha pegado. Tío, no, ¿cómo se pega? ¿Cómo coño se pega? No sé cómo se pega. ¿Con el A? Pero es que...
So is this just a warm-up practice, or are you actually gonna attack? Oh, is that it? I was just about to have fun.
¡Oh! ¡Lucha libre! ¡Joder! ¡Qué hostia le he pegado!
Come on, I thought you were tougher than that.
¡Qué bueno! Joder, cómo mola.
Huh, I thought you were supposed to be scary.
Me encanta.
Oh, and none of your jokes were funny.
Bueno, Boogeyman, me parece que estás un poquito muerto, ¿eh? A ver cuándo me deja hacer esto. Bueno, a ver si me sale la opción. Bueno, si me sale... ¡Ay! Mierda, joder, me había salido ahí. Voy a tener que estar dándole al botón todo el rato o algo. Que no me quiero acercar mucho porque... Joder, me había dejado ahí. Que no sé cuál es la condición, joder, para que me deje. Ya está, le voy a estar dando al botón todo el rato.
Oh, and none of your jokes were funny.
¿Te repites, Keith? ¡Hala!
Where do you think you're going, Lance?
I'm gonna find them. They've been gone way too long.
Did you forget what he said? It'll be a burden on him to move around on our own.
Well, then after all is said and done, we'll tell him we did just what he said. Of course, you might have all gone stone cold by that time.
Don't joke about things like that.
Sounds like a joke to you? We got 2, maybe 3 corpses around here?
What part of don't you get?
Stop, you two. Don't fight.
We'll go search together. I'll lead the way. Sophie and Shirley, you hold hands. And Lance, you watch the rear.
Papa.
You really want to go?
Yes, we'll be all right together. And there's something I'm curious about.
What's that?
This whole incident may just be a great big farce.
What do you mean?
Let's be going.
Helena, where are you? Helena? Helena.
O sea que la habíamos tenido ahí todo el tiempo y no nos habíamos dado ni cuenta, tío.
David!
Are you okay?
That man knocked me out. I woke up here. I was unconscious the whole time. Keith!
Helena!
Keith! Where are you?
Always on the run, huh? But marijuana addicts can move better than you. What's in that big head of yours?
Por fin vamos a saber quién es.
Brendan?
Os dije que iba a ser Brandon. Os lo dije, que sospechaba de él. Y al final, ¡bam! Brandon.
You lose. Detective.
What? ¡Hijo de puta! ¡Nos ha apuñalado! ¡Buena, David!
You're Brendan? Why?
Ese es mi David.
Stop moving around.
Keith! Helena!
We have to stop the bleeding. Lance!
Richard, help me out.
Sophie, find something to tie him with.
Keith!
Got you.
¡Ay, qué mono!
Keith? You...
Helena, when we get home, let's finish our conversation. No more running.
No! Keith, stay with me, please! Keith!
The servants and Stevie. 10 people died all told. I'm sure glad to be alive now. Feeling glad to even have air to breathe.
Listen, don't you say a word about all this, especially not to your coworkers. If it takes money to shut your yap, I'll pay any price.
Ho ho ho! Bribery! Where's that money coming from?
My own pockets. Listen, you guys can distort the truth all you want, and I won't say a peep, 'cause that's freedom of the press. But this is different. I've got no tolerance for people pointing and laughing at a wounded friend.
Do I gotta tell you again? I'm not a gossip guy. I hate cops, sure, but I hate gossip too. I won't ask for money, and I won't say a peep, 'cause I'm grateful to the guy. So quit hounding me. But, as an involved party, I've got a right to know what happened there. I just can't wrap my head around it. I talked to Brendan at dinner. Heard he got tired of the musty old castle and ran to Hollywood. Had a lot of fun in the movie biz. So what was the motive?
Guy's gone silent. Sounds like he convinced you he was a goody-two-shoes. But I bet you heard a different story in Hollywood. Now that's the kind of thing your lot should be writing about. Nobody knows people's past, usually. But it's easy to fool you into thinking otherwise with a little acting. And once you know somebody's past, you can lead them by the nose. He tricked you all, and tried to kill you. What a farce. Not sure of the motive yet, but he was pretty systematic about it all. Spent a ton of cash beforehand to check up on all the tour attendees. Even did a background check on me.
On you? Why?
Claro, el que vimos en la sala esta de los papeles arrugados.
'Cause I was going to be on that tour.
Claro, como al final fue Keith en vez de él.
No wonder I thought he knew me. The hell, so he just researched us?
That's the oldest trick in the book for us, saying, I know all about you. It makes you superior to the other person, so you can control them. Then they freak out and have to submit. He knew that tactic well. Seeing right through people without any tricks. That's what makes a real monster, ain't it? In his case, he just used money and connections to dig up people's pasts, and played the part of a monster.
But the research wasn't to select candidates, so he just picked randomly. Oh, damn, was he just in it for fun?
Now, my turn to ask questions. What you tell me is the only way I can figure out this incident. Give me anything you got. First, Brendan, or Boogie rather. What kind of man was he?
How should I say it? I suppose he had no emotion. That's how I saw him. He said such terrifying things without a care. He hardly showed any human feelings. He really was like a monster.
Keith told me he was a real jester.
Jester? Absolutely not. I would have much preferred if he were at least a little silly. He was a very disturbing, terrifying man. He was totally calm as he did awful things.
Richard, you seem to have a suspicion he might be Brendan. Why do you think that?
Oh, Richard, o sea que también estabas en mi bando, ¿no? De pensando que era Brendan.
When my daughter went missing, and I panicked thinking that man might have taken her, Keith told me something. This was the kind of person who would show corpses as decoration, so if he did take Sophie, he'd show off proof of it, meaning she was still safe. Luckily enough, I didn't see them, but indeed, evidently, there were many dead bodies left around. As Keith said, my daughter hadn't fallen into his grasp. He was correct in his assumption. That made me realize something unusual about what he'd said. Keith said he saw the moment Brendan's neck snapped, and his corpse was quickly dropped into the basement. Isn't that odd? Why did he quickly put Brendan's corpse out of sight? Why did he treat him differently from the other victims?
Yo también había pensado en eso, la verdad.
Because he didn't want you investigating it. He's got some keen insight, I'll give him that. So you suspected this was a farce plotted by Brendan?
No, well, I suggested that since Keith hadn't checked the corpse, he might still be alive. I only wanted to believe there was a chance he was alive. I had no conviction about the rest. So I didn't speak about it to Keith. I wouldn't dare risk throwing him off with my amateur opinion, not to mention we didn't know whether his wife was safe.
Apparently, Keith saw the moment Brendan's head came off, actually.
Was it a doll?
Right you are. Packed with neat little blood packs, it seems. Brendan was hung upside down and had his mouth taped up, and it was dark enough to be hard to tell who's who. Just dressing him up the same way made Keith assume it was him. On top of all those flashy rave lights, he dropped the corpse down below so it was impossible to check it closer. And since Keith saw the tour conductor killed right after that, of course, he'd think Brendan was killed too.
If I'd said something, maybe this could have been resolved sooner, but I was paralyzed with fear. I was only worried about my daughter. Even when Keith was running all over the place for us.
Don't worry about it. Keith did all that because he wanted to. That's all. He's deeply glad you're all safe. Now, little lady, can we hear from you too?
Hear what?
Anything. What you thought. What you noticed.
Well, I knew he was a fake, because I've met the real boogeyman.
Oh, de The Sandman, cierto, cierto.
Sophie, stop it. Not this tale again.
Ah, venga.
Fine, if you say so, Papa. Guess I'm not saying a word.
Go ahead, please. Meeting the real boogeyman sounds pretty juicy. Can you tell me more?
Maybe not really met. He just touched my shoulder. But his hand was cold as ice. Right away I knew it wasn't human. That guy's hands were human, though. They had warmth, so I knew he was just a regular guy.
Huh. So Boogeyman's hands are cold, eh? Tell that to my little squirts. Anything else you noticed?
I feel like he might get angry if I say this.
I won't. Tell me.
That guy had this cold and emotionless air, like you couldn't tell what he was thinking at all. It reminded me of Mr. Keith, a little.
Pobrecito.
You still think that way now?
Es que el Boogeyman, cuando controlábamos a Sophie, Boogeyman sonaba como mucho, como si eso, como si no tuviese emoción y demás. Entonces no sé si es que ese era el verdadero Boogeyman. O sea, a lo mejor el Boogeyman así animado y demás que hemos visto eran solo como más alucinaciones de Keith, podría ser, ¿no? O sea, puede ser que el otro fuese el real realmente. Pero no sé, puede ser, no estoy segura. Vamos, si no, no sé por qué se comportaría con Sophie de esa manera. Yo creo que es eso, que realmente Boogeyman era así, frío y tal. No en plan tan animado, así, sonando como sonaba con Keith.
Not even, because Mr. Keith got really mad at me. He was like, "Don't worry your papa ever again."
Mejor imitación de Keith.
Red paint? On his face? It was nothing like that. It was all red from blood spurt stuff.
Really? Keith told me he had a weird paint on a torn paper bag. And one more thing. Did you see any red graffiti in the castle? Or any monsters? Hear any phones ringing?
No, I didn't.
O sea, que todos los grafitis y demás eran también alucinaciones de Keith. Dios mío. Y parece ser que la sangre o la pintura en la bolsa de Boogeyman también. Joder, qué curioso.
Mr. Hoover, you're colorblind, if I recall. Maybe you just couldn't see the paint.
Pobre David, dejadle.
Yeah, but it's white and pink I get mixed up. I can see red just fine.
Blanco y rosa, es la primera vez que oigo esa combinación. Normalmente lo más oído, lo más que se suele oír con los daltónicos es azul y morado, rojo y verde a veces.
Well, and you, miss?
I saw quite a bit of the castle, but none of that. Did you hear that from the others?
Don't get me wrong. I don't think you're lying. The others said they saw nothing too. But then, that makes Keith the one talking nonsense.
I don't think Keith is necessarily lying.
Claro, David también ha pasado por ello, entonces.
What do you mean?
Because people don't always see the same things you do.
Oh, me encanta cómo lo ha dicho y como en un susurro.
Thanks for the assistance, you two. Sorry about calling you in 2 weeks after the fact.
Is not everything settled yet?
The police there are in the middle of their investigation. My role is just to assist. I'm going to report your testimonies to them, and that's that. I'll be off now. Eric, take them to the entrance.
When our son died, I thought my own life was over too.
Por un momento pensé que la estaba atravesando algo la cabeza. Se ha de suponer que es una venda, pero no sé, el efecto visual que tiene es que parece que tiene algo clavado.
I couldn't think about anything. Nothing had any taste. But tears would suddenly come anyway. I don't remember anything about what I did back then, but I do remember one thing. That Keith was always at my side. When I wailed and shouted, he'd hug me, stroke my hair, say it was okay. Eventually, I adjusted to life without our son, I found I could laugh again. But when I got my own emotions back, I realized Keith had stopped laughing. I had been broken, and so had Keith. Over time, I was able to heal, but he didn't. He was still stuck in the moment of Todd's death. He was always supporting me, so he never faced up to himself. I struggled to be at least a little stronger. Next time, I would protect him, since I wanted him to laugh again. But I couldn't. I couldn't repay anything to Keith. And I realized I was a burden on him that would keep him from ever walking again. So, even if we're far apart, as long as he can laugh again, then that's the best choice I can make.
My wife always brings me warm milk before I go to bed. And last Father's Day, my little squirt tried cooking me a meal. I definitely don't need milk to get to sleep. And the kids cooking, I'll be blunt, it ain't good.
Pobre niño.
But I'm glad for it. Usefulness and collateral don't mean a thing with this stuff. Keith didn't stay close to you expecting something in return. That's just what he wanted to do. You guys have got too much sympathy. You don't mind getting hurt for the sake of the other. But can't you notice that one of you being hurt hurts the other? You've just been getting more and more wounded as you go along. You're propping Keith up too, Elena. He can fight day after day, because he knows you're waiting at home, as much as I tease him about it. Don't think of yourself as baggage. Depend on him as much as you need. That's what he wants too.
Keith grabbed my hand and smiled, even though he was stabbed and wounded.
And what'd he say?
Got you.
Because he finally got what makes him happiest. But, man, too much discrepancy between your guys' testimonies and Keith's. Just how am I going to report this to the department? Hey, Helena, he went back home from the hospital today, right? Can I come talk with him now?
I'm sorry. Before he goes back home, there's a place he's going to visit. And I'm planning to head there myself. Keith.
Ay, pobre.
I've always wanted to cry like this. I never forgot about him. Not for a single day. Ever since he died, I was scared. I felt like even the slightest sign of weakness would make it all crumble. I acted like I felt nothing, like nothing disturbed me. I thought then I might be able to fool everyone, even myself. It was so stupid. I was broken a long time ago. It was all garbage, but I acted like a champion of justice. It always felt off. Whoever I was working for, I never felt repaid. And I saw you were safe, and you came up to me. Finally, I felt happy again. Acting strong just made me weak. It was pointless. God would never forgive his father staying broken forever, because I promised I'd protect his mom. I'll take off the blindfold. I'm gonna laugh, even if it's at a stupid TV show. If I'm pissed, I'll get mad. And if I'm sad, I'll cry. First, I guess there'll have to be counseling. There's something seriously wrong with my head, seems like. It's gonna be a busy time.
¡Que no estoy loco!
It's gonna be so busy. I won't be able to do it alone. Helena, I don't think I can deal with just being a good loser. I want a chance. Let me chase after you. Let me get down on my knees. You're the only one I want waiting for me.
There's no need for a chance. Didn't I tell you? Divorce or decide.
Elena, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué aún te quieres divorciar? O sea, se supone que ahora ya está bien. Deberíais poder estar bien ahora. Elena, no, no me hagas esto.
I've decided. Haven't you too? We only ever have one umbrella, so we hold it together. And it's fine if we get a little wet, because it'll soon be sunny again.
Oh, guay, pues aquí tenemos el final bueno. Llueva o haga sol. Bueno chicos, pues esto ha sido de Boogeyman. Ahora nos queda por una parte la sala extra y por otra los finales malos. La sala extra supongo que la intentaré traer mañana. Y para los finales sí, dadme un poquito de tiempo, ¿vale? Para grabarlos. Porque también tengo que editar y además voy a morir también editando este vídeo, un montón de texto. La verdad el juego ha estado muy bien. La verdad, yo ya lo he dicho más de una vez, me encantan los juegos de Uri, están geniales. Y la verdad este me ha encantado, además no ha tenido screamers por lo que he podido jugar tranquila. La verdad no sabría decir cuál me gusta más, si este o The Crookman, los dos me gustan bastante. Y no sé, a ver qué tal los otros finales. Todos son malos, o sea que a ver qué tal. No, pero este está bien. Lo que no sé, al final me queda un poco confusa de si al final Keith y Elena siguen juntos o no. No sé, estoy un poco confusa. Espero que no se separen, pobrecitos. Pero bueno, la verdad, el juego ha estado muy bien. Y nada, a ver ahora lo que tarda en salir la versión española. Que además ya os confirmo que yo haré de Sophie en español. A ver qué tal. A ver qué tal, a ver qué tal. Eso sí, seguramente tarde en salir, ya os aviso, la traducción española. Por una parte porque el juego es largo. Y por otra porque... por el tema del doblaje. Lo que no sé si querrá sacar también una versión con las voces inglesas o sacará directamente solo las voces españolas. Yo realmente sacaría ambas versiones, una con las inglesas y otra con las españolas. Y luego quizás aparte también la versión sin voces, que Uri también sacó una versión sin voces. Bueno, pues... a ver si terminan los créditos. La verdad, Uri se lo ocurra bastante. Ha estado bastante guay el juego. Bueno, parece que está terminando ya. Supongo que ahora nos llevará directamente a la sala extra. Pero bueno, eso ya para el siguiente vídeo. Vale, fin. Pues nada, chicos, espero que os haya gustado el juego, tanto como a mí. Ha estado muy guay. Vale, sí, sala extra. Vale, chicos, pues esto lo vamos a dejar ya para el siguiente vídeo, ¿vale? Así que ya en un principio mañana será. No sé cómo será de larga la sala extra, espero que no demasiado. Así que nada, chicos, pues espero que os haya gustado el juego. Ya mañana la sala extra y cuando tenga tiempo y demás, pues os traeré también los finales. Así que nada, chicos, pues muchas gracias por ver, comentad, suscribíos y demás. Y adiós.
What about you? What are you gonna do?
I'm going to go kill a monster.
Oh. Kid se pone serio, chavales. O sea que ahora vamos sin David. No, David, nos hemos despedido de David.